Welcome back, everyone. What inspiring stories from this panel. I'm personally so excited to actually go see the official preview for the film on the 32nd floor at 11 a.m. today. In the meantime, I wanted to quickly introduce you all to Debbie Bergeron from National Head Start Association. And she's actually from the winning team of the Magic School Bus captain of our Great British Bake Off competition that happened yesterday. To give a little more context, our first inaugural ASU+GSV Bake Off event took place yesterday. We had 4 teams compete in the Bake to redesign pathways to higher education for working adult learners. Teams were given a basket of ingredients like local context, student perspectives, and an aspect of the higher ed value chain to transform. We're so excited that we partnered with Guild on this. I heard it was a fantastic event. Thank you, Debbie, for being here. I'd love to introduce you to our virtual audience tuning in. Would love to just hear a little bit more about your background, how you came to find education and that passion for education.
Sure, yeah, I'm a career educator. Ironically, yesterday's session was about college and career readiness, but I actually work for the National Head Start Association, which serves our nation's littlest learners, birth to 5, children living in poverty. And as you might know, Head Start's been around since 1965, so a nice rooted program. But what I am here to do at this conference is to learn innovations around adult learning, because my job is to help support the over 270,000 staff that work in Head Starts around the country. So that session was really invigorating. It was so creative. We were asked to solve a problem, given a basket of ingredients, right? And our issue was centered in rural America, helping adult learners to create a career path. There were a lot of barriers. Some were English language learners, some had learning disabilities from their experience in K-12. Most didn't have good high school experiences. The biggest barrier was, however, they were all digitally illiterate. So we couldn't just throw an online learning platform at them. And so as we were talking as a group, and by the way, I wish I had all the names of the folks in my group. It was a rock star group. Everybody was so cooperative. It was the best collaborative experience I've had at a conference where people just randomly came together. It was really neat. But we had enough varied experience where people were throwing out all the different ideas. And what we said is we need to go to these people and like physically go to them. So we first said party bus, and we didn't think that was a very good idea. And we had one of our members said, oh, I loved the Magic School Bus. And so we thought Miss Frizzle would be our leader. You know, she said, make mistakes, get messy, all those fun things. And so we decided we'd have a Magic School Bus equipped with internet, laptops, all the technology folks would need. And what we would do is spend a year with these adult learners kind of hand-holding them into the digital space, because we knew if we could get them digitally literate, the rest was really fall into place. And so there was a lot of cooperation around making sure the folks who were delivering those pieces looked like the people receiving the information. So we were tapping into local college graduates, trying to create a mentor program where it felt like it was peer-to-peer learning, and really leveraging technology and the power of technology to ultimately give these folks a nice pathway into a career-ready program. This was all like in 3 minutes. So I got to tell you, this session was amazing. It was really fun. And I'm not a higher ed person, so it was really cool to kind of.
But I think that's all we're about, just being able to bring people who usually wouldn't be in the same room together and actually having that collaborative mindset to find solutions. And it's amazing that you were able to find this awesome group, to have you there.
Fun.
I'm sure your advice being from the early childhood space was so valuable. I think bring fresh insights. I'd love to hear a little bit more about, what are your big takeaways that you might take to your current work from this experience?
So I think the notion of reaching people where they are, making sure we're thinking about the audience and who our learners are. Head Start is a very niche kind of group of folks. They're special people. They do some of the toughest work in the country, working with our families who are living in poverty. And so their challenges are many. But they come to the work with such a sincere heart. Sincere heart, and they really want to do good work. So providing solid professional development is so important, so that they're prepared and that they can further their own professional dreams and goals.
That's awesome. And then I'd love to just really quickly just hear a little bit more about how you personally got into education and how I guess you decided to go more into education innovation in this conference, et cetera.
So I've probably been a teacher my whole life. I knew I wanted to get into education. I started as a middle and high school teacher, was an elementary principal, a high school principal. I got my superintendent's license and then sort of had a sharp right turn in 2018 and was asked to lead the Office of Head Start for the last administration, which was an amazing experience. Head Start is now like my vision, my mission, my passion. It's a phenomenal program, and I'm really excited to be able to share not just the Head Start model and to support Head Start, but as early learning becomes more prevalent, to really make sure we're looking at quality and not just providing childcare for the sake of childcare so someone can go to work, that we're really looking at the care of the child, the whole family, which is what Head Start does. And as far as innovation, well, 15, 20 years ago, I had my own business that I grew, an education services business, grew and sold. And so business and innovation have kind of always been in my blood too. So this is the greatest intersection of that. And to be able to think big and what can you do that's different that will really make a difference for people on the ground? This has just been an incredible few days.
That's awesome. That's so great to hear and really touching. And you know, who knew that higher ed and early childhood, so many commonalities. Wanted to throw a special shout out to Fran and Darcy from the Guild team for putting together this amazing event. I know so many people enjoyed it, heard raving reviews. I really wanted to quickly, in the last few minutes that we have, move on to our next session. Thank you again, Debbie, for being here. Up next, we have our last featured segment on the Spotlight channel. We'll take a look at how COVID is impacting our littlest learners, with how are our little learners doing. Enjoy.